Alright folks, my name is Freyn and welcome to the latest edition of Guess Which Muppet Forgot to Record. Now, despite some of the potential confusion with teammates it might cause, for this particular video I am going to be turning the markers off. And that is because I want to give a bit of a sense of spotting and how the game actually felt from my perspective at the time. Now you can see that I am playing 5.3 America. This is the M4A3 76 and I'm on Advanced to the Rhine single cap. It is Conquest 1 cap out in the middle of the park. Not really my favourite area of the map, so I'm going to do as I normally do here. I know it gets a bit repetitive, but I'm heading out into the centre of the map and trying to anticipate and cut off any potential flankers. It's quite common on this map for some people to head straight towards the enemy spawn around the edge, so that's what I'm trying to prevent. Just going to tuck myself in behind this pile of rubble and try and keep an eye on both sides of it. I do have a limited line of sight on the cap. I can see it in third person but not in first really. So from here it's just about stopping the enemies pushing through this centre part. I'm not going to be able to back up the cap too much. Now, the enemy are pushing up quite hard through the park and are just about to start capping now, which isn't ideal for us. It does put us already on the back foot, the tickets are bleeding and it's quite difficult to safely get in there and decap it. First you have to knock out as many opponents as you can see in the area. So here's my first target, Panzer IV-G. One into the side of the turret. That's his turret ring, his transmission, and his turret crew. Tried to go for one more into the side for a quick finish, but obviously he's a little too angled, so we'll just follow up with another turret shot. That's one kill on the board, and a T-34-85 spotted, leaving the cap. And he's sort of headed my way. I don't think he's seen me, but I'm not entirely sure which route he's going to take. I figured he'd be coming in on the other side of that dark grey building there, so I'm just holding ground for the moment, trying to work out where he's going. Here he comes. He hasn't seen me, he's pushing around. I could potentially turn around and try and move in behind him, but by the time I've done that, he'll probably be around to my current position. So instead I'm going to hold here and wait for him to re-emerge. Plus, that way I'm slightly less likely to get shot by opponents I haven't seen. That's him down, one into the side of the crew compartment, followed by an IS-1. Cupola shots have been far more reliable for me lately than trying to get them through the turret. But no time to dwell on that. Another T-34 behind me. I could have played that slightly better. I was very lucky to survive. He managed to bounce his shot. I essentially went for the one-shot kill straight away. I went for the crew compartment towards the front of the vehicle where it's going to get the driver and the gunner. I should have really gone more under the turret, just in case he moved in the same way he did. As a result, I ended up scraping across his front, and it could have cost me. The reason I tend to go for the one-shot kills is partly speed, just getting rid of the opponent as fast as possible, and partly because the fuel tank doesn't extend quite that far forwards, and I hate those Soviet fuel tanks. Now I've repositioned a little bit, not hugely. I still want to stay in the general area, but ideally not sit in the exact same location for the whole time. It's asking to get killed really doing that, although ultimately I probably end up doing it more often than I should anyway. So I'm just gonna stay in the area, slowly move around, see if I can find new angles, new targets. We're still not really making much pressure on the cap, and the enemy is pushing up sort of into our half or a third of the map almost. A little bit of smoke in front of me, something on the other side of that wall. I can't see it yet. So what I really want to do is back up, hide behind this rubble so that if they decide to turn their camera and look over the wall, they don't see me. I might still be visible here. Obviously I have to try and keep myself so that I can actually see them if they do appear. But first, before I can do anything about that, there's 2 more T-34-85s behind me, so 1 into the back of that target. I believe now there is guaranteed ammo in the back of the turret due to the ready rack system. So that's 1 down there, and as soon as the smoke clears, we'll take the second. Just managing to protect that M4 that was getting attacked. So as a teammate alive, that's going to help a lot. Especially as he's one of the few people who is covering my back at the moment. Or at the very least, being an alternate target than my back. Now, as I said before, maybe not the smartest move, but I'm going to return back to my previous spot. The enemies are mostly pushing up past the park, and I should start to get some side or rear shots on them here. There's a Panther. Now, he did see me. I only got the driver and gunner with the first shot. A little low damage actually, I would have expected a bit more with that placement. But someone else finished him off in the meantime. Not quite sure what happened to that round. Fortunately, it's only a flak Panther, so it's not the end of the world that he didn't die. That Sherman I saved before has just died, if you look at the minimap, so we'll turn around and see what got rid of him. 1 shot into the side of the Stug. He's down, and as far as I'm aware, everything in that direction. Not that I can dwell on that for very long. Type 65 instantly took out my turret machine gun and my breach, so we're having to use 50 cal on the roof to take these out. Fortunately, they're both open topped, and that's 2 kills very, very close together with a bit of machine gun fire. So, stop and repair. And hope nothing creeps up on me. I can hear engines around a little bit. There goes a Panther. Again, not the best damage on the side of him. I actually, at the time, thought I got his transmission and he wouldn't be going anywhere. But I'm a little distracted by a ZSU-37 who seems to want to refuse to hull brake. Another IS-1. Quick stop and shoot thanks to the stabilizer allowing that reduction of gun rock. And continuing to work on the ZSU. But I started to make a really stupid maneuver here. First, 1 shot into this Panther. That's fine, he's got no barrel. That itself isn't the stupid part. The stupid part is I headed over here looking for this other Panther. As I said, I thought his transmission was out. Although, for one, I failed to take into account exactly how many shots I had already fired at this stage. And the fact that he would have long been repaired, but I couldn't see him, so I figured, after I hit him, he must have drifted around the corner a bit before coming to a full stop. So I peek for the other Panther, take him out, and then get hit in the back. Clearly not around the corner like I'd hoped. That's 12 kills, and it will shift onto my respawn. M4A2 76 plays it pretty much identically to the M4A3. You don't have the extra track armor. I think you've got a slightly smaller engine, and there's no APCR. But functionally, you can pretty much play both tanks interchangeably in my experience. Now, someone on our team has managed to get a decap at some point, although not for long. The enemy's already back on it. I myself am returning back out to this flank. That Panther is still over here, and given how far wide he was going, I had to assume at this stage that he was trying to push around and either get behind us or go for our spawn, and I want to prevent that. So I'm just going to stop up, double check he's not there, and then decide what I'm doing next from here. However, he has just taken out a T20 in the centre of the map, so he's pushing that way. He's going back towards the cap. He's already low on crew, so 1 shot into the side of the turret is enough to finish him. And there shouldn't be anything else over here that I'm aware of. I can start pushing out this way. Someone, in the meantime, has managed to decap again, which is absolutely fantastic. That at least halts the loss for now. we're still far from clear. We are on a huge ticket disadvantage, a huge player disadvantage. And so I'm starting to finally move back over to the cap and get involved in the objective. I've got a bulldog pushing through the centre here. I heard a gunshot, T-34-85. So let's just put one into his turret ring towards the top of the upper plate, trying to get as many crew as possible. Someone's back on cap, so stop, look out. And again, as with the IS-1 before, we'll go for the cupola. I'm just finding those cupola shots so much more reliable than trying to go for the turret lately. The turret is quite thick, although not as thick as you should have penetration capability, but they're curved, and this game really struggles with curved surfaces quite often. If it's rotating even just a little bit, it can throw a bounce, and it's too risky. So I've started to go for cupolas whenever I have the time to take over the shot. I contemplated going into the cap myself, as we do need it, but someone else is driving on. I'd rather they took it than myself, although he did just get killed by artillery, which is a little unlucky. ISU 122S just took out the M18 who was following him on. I heard that shot, I know roughly where he is. There we go. So take him down. And further glad that I didn't choose to go in the cap myself. The first shot received was a plane, and the second one is an ASU 57. And this highlights again one of the things I don't really like with the replays, and a little bit of the game itself. The destruction physics are entirely client side. Now in the game the wall fell down and I could see the ASU. In the replay the wall is completely blocking my vision. But that's the ASU and the ZSU down, and I'm finally moving into the cap. I should have done this a long time ago. Had it got to this stage, if they still had it under control, I would have tried to move into it. But I do hold on too long. It's not one of my strong suits. This game was worse than most. I'd been having a really rough day in this lineup, and I kind of come into this game a bit fed up, given up, just switched off my brain, turned on some music, and wasn't really fully focused. So for most of it, I completely ignored the objective. Now, of course, I've picked up 18 kills, and that has allowed my team to focus on the objective a little more themselves, because obviously they've got far less that needs to be done on the killing front. But that's still not really fair, and I should play the objectives more often. It's one of my faults. It's certainly not ideal for trying to win. Works better on some maps more than others. Now, somebody's been pinging something on this side of the map the whole time, so I thought I'd drive around and try flank it. But as I reach this position, I can hear an engine. He's on the other side of this wall, so I'm going to tuck myself in here. Kind of gave myself away by knocking down those bits of wood. He may have already heard me, I'd already heard him. But obviously it was unnecessary noise. So now I'm just going to hold here, keep listening. Only just on the other side of the wall. I'm not entirely sure which way he's going. He might be turning around. But there's only one way he can approach me. And there's his gun barrel. He'd obviously stopped, looked around the corner and spotted me, but still drove out, side on, so and one shot into the front of his hull. Quickly stop this Oswin from decapping. That's 21 kills now, and I'll move in and start to get that cap again. There is a truck there, but don't quite have line of sight even with my roof gun. No matter though, the T-25 has taken him out, and I can move into the cap. So 21 kills, 1 cap, 1 assist, soon to be 2 caps. It's a shame about the death, but well, I think we've already got far more than I really should have in this game, given the way I was playing. I should just be very thankful that I've got what I have, and that we're headed for a win, as that Panther was the last player on their team. He's respawned, but he's not in a tank, so he can't cap. There's no one else left. This game is in the bag. Now, fire number 1. We've still got quite a lot of tickets left, and he's clearly got a bone to pick with me. Unfortunately, my 50 cal, while great at shooting down planes, does not actually point high enough. I've swapped to the 50 cal camera for this part, just to make sure I can get it on target. But yeah, there's only so much I can do when he's not coming in at an appropriate angle, so I'm going to reposition a little bit. Try and tilt myself up on the bank. And hopefully I can get a bit of retaliation. Still just out of arc. And there goes my engine, so unless he messes up, I'm not going to get a return fire. But we will win, and it's been a damn good result either way. He was, however, nice enough to just grace me with that one last kill. He set me on fire for a 3rd time. Crashed from all my 50 cals. And the game ends before I managed to burn down, so finishing 22 kills. Absolute monster of a game. I am so frustrated with myself that I didn't record it. Now that I have the space, there is no excuse. I should be pressing record every game. But it's a good game. 21 kills for me. I believe 19 for the rest, although as said before, we could have done it without them constantly pushing onto that cap. I was just too focused on kills, not the objective. It still was a team effort despite the scoreline. But that's all for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.